I'm just trying to get the thing in the
Steven,
back.
just
So
going
you
back,
got, go ahead.
going back to training camp, when we first had you guys together, you said that you guys are going to keep things simple. Now going into year two of this rebuild, do you plan to expand on both of the floor?
Yeah, 100%. We're going to expand. We have tried some things a little bit later in the season. I think you've probably seen us pressing a little bit more, zoning a little bit more, trying to see some things, get some videotape on some things. And yeah, we're going to expand our playbook offensively coming into the year as far as, and I told Alpie this during our meeting today, like I didn't expect having a post player coming into the year, and doing a lot more study this summer will help with that. And then just knowing the strengths and weaknesses of our guys, we can really do some things, some creative things, but also some things that make sense for our group going into next year now that the kind of base has been laid. And one of the main things that I wanted to do this season, especially after All-Star break, is improve our defense. And I didn't check after last night's game. It wasn't a great game, but we were 21st in defense after the All-Star break, which is a big jump from being 30th before. So proud of that.
This team, like everybody's under contract, change always happens anyway.
Yeah.
But if the bulk of this team's back with two rookies, how do you get better? Do you expect to get better in terms of wins and losses anyway?
Yeah, I think just natural progression of guys understanding. We had a bunch of guys who never played in the NBA before, or guys who hadn't been in the starting role that they were in before, or playing new positions, and all the things we really started at zero this year with a lot of guys. So getting to the point where we played an 82-game season with these guys, and their roles will be similar next year, depending on if we have two new young guys or not. We'll still be starting at a much higher place than we were this season as far as understanding, and then to Kelly's point, not being so bland on both ends of the floor, because there'll be a much higher level of understanding when it comes to the young guys.
Do you expect reinforcements, or are you cool with running it? I hate to say running it back, but
I don't really know what to expect. I mean, like you said, change is inevitable in this league, so I don't really know what to expect.
What about as far as your staff, Steve? Do you expect staff back as is, or?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I expect everybody to be back, but like we were just talking about, change is inevitable in this league, and I have a talented staff that maybe one of them could be a head coach, or maybe one of them could move on and go from third assistant to second assistant, or second assistant to first assistant. And I was blessed in my career to be able to, if there's an opportunity for me to move on and move up and get more years, get more money or whatever, that's a thing. And there were times where I wasn't allowed to do it, and there were times where I was allowed to do it. And growing assistant coaches is important, but also having some continuity is important too. So finding that fine line between the two is very important.
Stephen, I know that.
Some of the young players that you had this year, how much did you find yourself being not only coach, but being a friend, confidant, ear to talk to, maybe sometimes father figure?
A lot. It's just a fun group. I think everybody here probably has some memory or some story or some little quip that one of these young guys made you laugh or made you feel like a connection with them. And I had the joy of doing that every day. And we really have some really good people. And that's what I told the group last night, is it's very much about the people. So yeah, there were times where I butted heads with guys, which was necessary. There were times where we would have to go to dinner, just him and me, whoever him is. There were times where we'd have to hug it out, and there were times where we'd have to come to my office and we'd have to talk about it. But Yeah, that's the job of the head coach. And like I said, maybe it was last night, I love this job. I love being the head coach of the Rockets, and I love this group, and I love the people that I work with. So yeah, those relationships are organic, and they come being the head coach. There's a level of you can't get too close because the accountability part, but I feel like I'm as close as I could possibly be while also having that hammer.
Steve, I know that every organization is different, and some have more patience than others. So, what does it mean for you to have another opportunity to coach this team again?
It means a lot. I understand this business. I grew up in this business, and I am grateful to Rafael, and I'm grateful to the Tillman, to the Fertittas, for giving me this opportunity first and foremost, and then letting me go on this journey, this ride that we're all on, as far as we got a young group of guys who are learning how to play, a group that's rebuilding, and it is moving in the right direction, and I'm glad to be on the ride with it.
Having had a year with Jalen, what can he be next year? What can he be in his career?
I mean, that's impossible to answer, but he can be a very good basketball player for sure. He will get stronger. He will get more experienced. He will get better than he was this year. So that adds up to being a very good basketball player.
What would it mean? Did you see him be first team all rookie?
I did not see that.
I said, no, what would it mean to see him be first team all
When
rookie?
he is, it will mean a lot, just like it was when JT was first team all rookie last season. It will mean a lot. It will mean that he is one of the top 5 guys in the NBA as far as rookies are concerned. It'll mean that all the hard work that he's put in when none of us are here, none of these cameras are here, none of the microphones or anything, when he's in here by himself getting work in, means it paid off. And the product that we've seen on the floor over the last, since All-Star break, really, I mean, there's no argument to me. Like, there really just isn't. So, against him being first team all rookie. So I'll be super proud of him.
You spoke about hearing from the guys that there's an understanding of the potential, obviously, that you guys have here with so much young talent. What's a challenge for you and them now to kind of just stay on this path, this moment, just to kind of keep improving at the pace that you want them to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's the job of any organization, right? I think keeping the train moving in the right direction is the goal of every organization. So we're in a little bit of different spot because we have so many young guys, and we're pushing guys to learn a little bit quicker than maybe they would have to learn if they were having more vets on their team. But the way that it's structured, the way that it was structured this year is they could go out there and play, learn, grow, fail, get back up, grow, learn, and that will continue with this group. There is a lot of talent and still a lot to learn. And like I said last night, if these young guys that we have and the whole group, if they're going to have 10-year careers at the least, the lowest, this is just 1/10 of their career. So there's so much more ahead of them, and we can't get caught up in today. The today has to be helping them for tomorrow and helping them grow for their whole career.
You spoke about your relationships with the players, head coach to player, how there's maybe a line that can't be crossed. How has this group of guys really helped you grow and find your identity as a head coach in this league?
That's a good question. They've been challenging at times, for sure, because when you're the head coach, you want it to be perfect, So there have been times where I've had to really embrace the process of failure and then bouncing back from failure, or patience, knowing that the play didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to go, and hopefully it'll go better the next time. And that was probably the biggest like part of it that I had to grow and embrace, is the mistakes that are made sometimes and they lessened as the season went along. And if I put too much pressure on them to play mistake free, then it would not have ended the way that it did, as far as them improving individually as a group and us feeling in this media availability as we're on to something. You know, it could have been at the end of this like, whoa, this isn't very good, but the way that it kind of came together because of patience and because of conversations and because of hard practices and giving them some grace at times, it ended up where we are right now, which I think is a pretty good space.
Could you see yourself going through another year with that mentality? Could you see yourself doing another year, this organization doing another year with that mentality that you just described?
It would be unfair to me, to the players, to let them play through so many mistakes that they already know.
Mm-hmm.
We went through this season and they learned a lot, then they can be held accountable to what they learned. But you have to allow them to learn it, right? And this season was about learning it. Next season can be more about, you already know. You learned this already. You already know. So going through it next season will still require some patience for sure, but will be different when it comes to like, no, remember we went through this whole season last year and we put this base in and we put this in, we put that in, and you know it. And this summer is gonna be reinforcing it. So having all of these months of their learning curve going in the right direction, it would be a disservice to them to let them off the hook for stuff that they've already learned.
Can it be about wins and losses then, to some degree?
I think it can.
Hey, Stephen, you talked about them being young and continuing to be young next year. How much would it mean, though, to have some veteran infusion into this team? I mean, you're going to still be young, but how much would that?
I'm not sure how much that matters. I'm not sure Eric Gordon is a really good vet and was an important part of our team this year and does everything the right way. And if you watch Eric Gordon play, and I told him this yesterday, when he plays, the group loves the way he plays because he'll go between his legs 4 times and then go and like Euro step and bump somebody off of him and finish, and the whole bench will be like jumping up. Or when Eric is guarding somebody in the post and it's like, no, I don't need any help, it's like the players love it. So to say, yeah, we have a bunch of young guys, but we also have some vets like Eric Gordon, who is someone that these guys really look towards for leadership. So